Yeshua the Scholastic Dummy Part 3B. The Minoans are Phoenician Canaanites from King Menes, the son of Queen Europa. Okay? The black Europeans, dummy, from Ham, not from Japheth. Clown ass nigga. Let's go.
Now, this is from the Society for Promoting Christian Knowledge of God, page 404. And I'm going to start it says, at Pelasgio of the women were markedly long-headed, only 8 to 55 of the men, and 587 of the women were markedly short or broad-headed. These figures suggest that the Minoans belong to the dark-skinned, long-headed Mediterranean race. Okay? And the small average stature, 5 foot to 5 inches. So we can see, we're pulling sources that they are dark-skinned. Okay? It says, in a small average stature, 5 foot 5 inches, which Dr. Duckworth infers from their bones, leads to the same conclusion the cranial measurements which have been taken of Greeks of classical times have given practically the same results. So the Greeks, the Cretians, they all were dark skinned. The Minoans, dark skinned people. These are Japhetic children. These are Japhetic people.
That's a lie. That is a lie. The Minoans are dark skinned people. The Minoans are not fucking Japheth people. That's a fucking lie. It's a lie from the pit of hell.
Understand that. On the other hand, these do not seem to include any specimens from classical age in Crete, and Dr. Duckworth's investigation from a modern inhabitants of the same part of the island show that, so far agreeing with their Minoan predecessors, they are
Minoan predecessors, not Japhetic predecessors. This article don't say Japheth in it not one fucking time, dog. You're a fucking liar. And you can't read. And you stupid.
brachiocephalic and have an average height of 5 foot 7 inches. The type which they thus suggest is one familiar in the Balkans and the Anatolian Plateau. This race may have reached Crete since classical times, but we cannot exclude the possibility of mixture of races there in Minoan times, when we find Mr. Evans reminded of the same dark skin but broad-headed Balkan race by the portrait of the cupbearer, because they were examining the art, the frescoes, the vases and the cups and so on and so forth, the coins. You can see dark-skinned people on there. You can't deny the art.
Right, but you didn't see not one Japheth on there. You ain't see no dark-skinned Japheth. You did not see that. You saw dark-skinned Minoans from Crete, the Minoans from King Menes, dummy. The son of Queen Europa, the Phoenician princess, dummy. If his mama was a Phoenician, his daddy was a Phoenician, he was a Phoenician. He wasn't a fucking Japhethite, and Japheth is not written nowhere in this fucking article. You're a fucking liar.
Reading on. The fact, indeed, that Dr. Duckworth's investigation only covered a period much earlier than the fresco suggests that we must open up some middle Minoan III and late Minoan ossuaries before the whole problem. Let's skip some. The whole problem, indeed, that we have to face is one of intrusive elements. Whence they came and what particular contribution they made to the general stock. Grant, with those ethnologists, that practically the whole basin of the Mediterranean was inhabited in Neolithic times by a dark-skinned long race. That this race possesses extraordinary...
Ham, the father of the dark-skinned races, Zondervan, Ham. Don't nothing in history. Don't nothing in logic. Don't nothing in the fucking world suggests that the Minoans were the sons of Japheth. It's a fucking lie.
Assistance, and in spite of the constant invasions and conquests, remains the basis of the present population in Spain, Italy, Greece, and Egypt. That is the most gifted race in the world, and that the artistic impulse, wherever we find it in the area which it inhabits, has also been due to it. Grant all this, We are a little nearer solving what is really interesting part of the question: at what times and under what influences and various branches develop their special characteristics and their widely different languages. Now, it says that practically the whole basin of the Mediterranean was inhabited in Neolithic times by dark-skinned, long-headed race.
The dark-skinned people are Hamites, dummy. Not Japhethite, dummy. Don't nobody say that but you fucking Colts. Nobody.
What does Neolithic mean? It means anything before 3300 BC, meaning the original inhabitants of these lands: Greece, Italy, Thrace, okay, Athens, Crete, all these places, the Isles of the Aegean Sea, all these places were inhabited in Neolithic times, meaning a long time ago, the first ones. And what were they skinned? Dark-skinned people. They were Negroid.
Right.
They were not Caucasian.
Hamite.
They would, in a scholastic term, they weren't Nordic types. So where are you getting this information from? You're getting this from interpretation.
No,
that's where you're getting it from.
No, we're not. How we getting it from interpretation? We're getting it from reading, dummy. All of the sources, stupid, says that the Macedonians were white and that the Minoans were black. Two different races, two different genetics, two different people. And then you got the nerve to run around here calling yourself a geneticist and shit, bro. But you can't figure out that white and black people is not the same genes. They're not the same people. But yet and still you keep juxtaposing fucking white history on black people. And white genes on black people. You a fucking dummy, dude. Nigga, set it up, man. Me and you can have a debate, nigga, and I'm gonna bust your ass, cause you's a fucking clown, dog.
It goes back to that scientific racism. Because the word Japhet means beautiful. And they equate beautifulness with fair. And what do they equate fairness with? White skin.
Right. And you equating it with black. You the only one, nigga. The only video on YouTube equating Japheth with black skin, nigga. And every scholar, people with degrees and PhDs and master historians, and people who study myths and mythology, you don't study none of this shit, nigga. You just trying to get you a following and try to make yourself like you appointed by God, like you somebody big out here. Nigga, you ain't shit, nigga. And keep my name out your fucking stupid ass mouth, boy.
Fair does not mean white skin, it means beautiful. So they try to correlate that. But you gotta do real research.
Fair means light-skinned. It means light-skinned. It also means beautiful as well, bro. Okay, two different words, bro. But the same connotation falls for both, bro. Okay, in English, fair means light-skinned, brother. Fair-skinned does not mean beautiful-skinned, my brother. And you stupid and a fucking liar for trying to push that off to anybody, bro. Fuck wrong with you.
Research. You have to go deeper, man. A lot of y'all brothers, y'all stuck
like you.
in this paradigm of just, you go to a precept and then you make your own interpretation. You think that overrides any other knowledge.
That's what you doing. You making up your own fucking interpretation, because don't nothing, motherfucker, in the history of nothing says that Japheth was black people, bro. You made that up and you think your stupid ass interpretation, that's called absurd, nigga. You absurd, dummy. Get your ass in the ring with me so I can box your dumb ass out, nigga. You stupid.
That overrides what our ancestors wrote down. That overrides arts, frescoes, paintings.
Yeah, your stupid shit do. Your stupid shit do. Because there's no art nowhere that show a motherfucker black Japhethite, dog. You see that those black people are Minoans, nigga. And the Minoans are black people, my nigga. You's a stupid dummy.
That overrides everything in your mind. That is cancerous, and we cannot have that in our community. We must.
Yeah, you must prove that Japheth was a black man, and you have not done that nowhere on here, nigga. All you doing is juxtaposing motherfucking history, placing one history and one people next to another, you know what I'm saying, to another people's name so you can hijack white motherfucking culture. Nigga, them white people is white people, nigga, and the black people is black people, dog. Cut that stupid, dumb shit out, geneticists. You dumbass geneticists.
Teach people. We must edify and build them up to a level, okay?
How you
So they
gonna
will
build
not.
somebody up teaching them lies, nigga? That's why your dumb ass need to be hung from a fucking tree or sit your bitch ass down, nigga. Cause you ain't got no knowledge, scrub ass nigga. You's a dummy.
Be ignorant so they can actually have an answer instead of fumbling all over the place, making up stuff as you go.
The evidence suggests you making up shit, bro. You made up that Japheth is a black man. You made that shit up, bro. And you have absolutely no evidence. All this shit you got on here is conjecture because none of the shit that you said, bro. None of the evidence that you pulled up here produced or said anything about Japheth being a black man, bro. Or dark skinned or any of that shit, nigga. What you did was took the Minoan history, the Hamite Minoan history, and fixed it to the motherfucking white Greeks, bro. And you need to stop that shit. That nigga, that's poor scholarship. And you got the nerve to say something about my methodology. Nigga, you whack and dumb as fuck, nigga. Keep my name out your mouth, you stupid dumb ass nigga. You's a whack nigga, nigga. And I beat your ass in any debate, nigga, on any subject, clown ass nigga.
Nonetheless, let's continue on. Let's talk about the Medes. We all know the Medes come from Madai, which is the son of Japhet, of the posterity of Japhet, right? Now, this is from the Black Terror, White Soldiers, Islam, Fascism, and New Age by David Livingstone, right? It says the Scythians were related to a legend popular among medieval Jews who equated with them the lost tribes of Israel. According to the Bible, the Israelites became lost after the northern kingdom of Israel.
The Scythians, bro. These are Russians, dog. These are Russians, bro. White people, bro. What the fuck is you saying, man? The Macedonians is the Medes, my nigga, the whites. This shit clearly said white people, the Scythians. Nigga, you stupid.
Was conquered by the Assyrians who dispersed them among the Medes, who lived in Iran in an area known as Media. The Medes, according to the Greek mythology, were descended from Media the Colchian, which from the story of Jason and the Argonauts, according to legend, Media later married Aegeus of Athens, after whom the Aegean Sea is named. The Medes were descended from their son Medus of Colchis. So the Medes and the Colchians are one and the same. According to a description by Herodotus, a Greek historian in the 5th century BC, known as the father of history, the Colchians who dwelt in the land located along the western slope of the Caucasus Mountains near the Black Sea and what is now the state of Georgia were...
The only thing black about this motherfucking meat. Oh boy, I'm about to choke, boy. This ain't no joke. Man, I swear to God. The only thing black about this whole motherfucking paragraph was a C, bro. You need to fucking stop it, dummy. You's a dummy. Man, you so fucking stupid.
were black and probably Jewish. Like in the land located along the western slope of the Caucasus Mountains near the Black Sea and what is now the state of Georgia were black and probably Jewish. Like, just focus on the part where it says were black.
And probably Jewish, okay? Now, when we talking about the Medes, what this guy's doing here, he is mixing up the Mede history because you had two different Medes. You had the Medes that came from Ham, and then you had the Medes that came from Japheth. And this is why the scripture said Japheth shall enlarge itself inside the tents of Shem and the Ham. You dig what I'm saying? So, the reality of the fact that there's a black Medes and there's a white Medes. What this guy's doing is going to sources of people. These are inadequate sources. His sources is what you call insufficient evidence. It's defective evidence and it's broken fucking evidence. His fucking historian he think that the Medes were all black people and the Medes were white people. You had the Gutians, Okay, you had the Gutians, which came from Medea, from Japheth, and then you had the Medes, which Jethro came from, which Moses' wife was from. Okay, so you had two different sets of Medes here. This guy's mixing both sets up as though they're the same people. You got to be the dumbest, stupid motherfucker on the planet, brother. The white Medes are the people from Greece, dude, and the black Medes had nothing to do with the fucking land, you fucking liar.
Like the Jews of the Palestine, whom he referred to as Phoenicians, Herodotus also regarded the people of Colchis as derived from the Egyptian colony. Why? Because of their dark skin and woolly hair. He not only pointed to the Colchians' black skin and woolly hair as evidence, but also their oral traditions, language, methods of weaving, and practice of circumcision. St. Jerome, writing during the 4th century AD, called the Colchis the second Ethiopia. Why? Because they were dark skinned. Who are these people? They are the Medes. They come from Japhet. What are we proving? That Japhet was originally a dark-skinned people. Not the Caucasians. They were not Caucasians.
They were Caucasian, dummy.
Okay? Understand that.
It says so.
It says
so.
200 years later, Sophronis, patriarch of Jerusalem, described an Ethiopian presence in the same region. Diodorus of Sicily, a historian of the 1st century BC in Universal History, stated, "They say also that those who set forth with Danius, Dan Travadan, likewise from Egypt, settled with what is practically the oldest city of Greece, Argos, and that the nations of the Colchi and Pontus and that of the Jews, which lies between Arabia and Syria, were founded as colonies by certain immigrants from their country, i.e. Egypt, and this is the reason why it's a long-established institution among these people." Because why? These people are dark. All these people are dark-skinned.
But see, look at this though. You see, he keeps saying that they're dark-skinned. He's not reading right. Okay. What he says, in the 5th century BC, the father of history, the Colchians who dwelt in the land located along the western slope of the Caucasus Mountains near the Black Sea, and now what is the state of Georgia, were black and probably Jewish, like the Jews of Palestine, whom he referred to as Phoenicians. Okay, these people are being compared to black people, Hamites, Phoenicians. You dig what I'm saying? He said, he talked about Herodotus, talked about how right there that this was a fucking Ethiopian colony. Everybody know that the Colchians were not fucking Japhethites. Everybody know that the Colchians were fucking Egyptians. Everybody knows this. This is fucking stupid, and it's poor fucking scholarship.
Dark skin. All of them are dark skin. Everybody he named on there, dark skin. The original inhabitants were dark skinned. Japhet is a Negroid race.
This is where you lying at, bro. This is where you fucking lie. Let's go take a look at the race and history forum. I noticed your post about the Colchians and what people don't realize that they are still black Russians living in around the Black Sea. I was stumbling through the African. I was thumbing through the Africana put out by Harvard, and I read a little something about the black Russians, and I was shocked. I started doing more research, and it turned out that they may be descendants from Sesostris' army. I ran across other classical writers that do describe Colchis, not Japheth, okay? Sesostris' army. Egyptians. I ran across other classical writers that do describe Colchians as being black. Pindar, in his descriptions of the Colchians, described them as dark-skinned people, not Japhethites. Never have nobody ever described them as Japhethites. One may observe that there is no blacks at all in the Colchian region now. There is nothing but white Russian Georgian people in southern Russia. Why aren't there any black descendants today? Can the fact that Sesostris left a colony of his army be backed up by evidence? Well, it looks like it can. Apparently, in 1912, a Russian naturalist by the name of V.P. Vradi found a small colony of black people in the area of Batumi, which is on the western coast of Georgia in southern Russia. Vradi noticed that they were quite black in skin color and had very African features, while others were mixed with black and Russian. Vradi published a book about the black tribe called Kavzaz. After the publishing of his book, reports of the black populations around the Black Sea began to flood local media. As other scholars began to travel the land more in modern times, they too began reporting tribes of black populations, not Japhethites. There are more accounts of black Colchians. In 522 to 443, a Greek poet named Pindar described the Colchians, whom Jason and Argonaut fought as being dark-skinned. A Greek. Now, a Greek described these people as being dark-skinned. He didn't say that. This is fucking crazy. He said that the Greeks, a whole nother people, brother. He didn't say that the Colchians described themselves as dark-skinned. He didn't say that the Greeks described the Greeks as dark-skinned. It said the Greeks, a Greek poet named Pindar, described the Colchians, not the Greeks, brother. The Colchians are not the Greeks. He said that Pindar described the Colchians whom Jason and the Argonauts fought as being dark-skinned around 350 to 400 BC. Church Father Jerome, another white man, and Sophronius referred to the Colchians as the second Ethiopia because of its population. This information taken from Patrick T. English, Cushites, Colchians, and Khazars, not fucking Japhethite Colchians and Khazars. Don't nobody write like that, dummy. You's a dummy. This is from the Journal of Near Eastern Studies, Volume 18, January, October 1959. These people have always known that the damn black people that was in that was near the Caucasus Mountains near Russia were always black Colchians that were Hamites. You damn liar, not Japhethites. However, a black Colchian writer, historian, and ethnographer, Dmitry Golia, 1874-1860s, asserted that his people's heritage stemmed from Sesotris. A black Colchian writer, dummy. You fucking dummy. Yashub, you fucking dummy. Moreover, a black Colchian writer, historian, a black Colchian writer, not Japhethite writer, you fucking dummy. He said that a black fucking Colchian writer, not Japhethite writer, not Greek writer, you fucking liar, not fucking Mede writer. Say a black Colchian writer and ethnographer asserted that his people's heritage stemmed from Sesostris, which is another Egyptian, you fucking liar. He published a book called History of Abkhazia, which shows that the black Colchian people of southern Russia were really an Abyssinian people of Egypt, meaning that they were Ethiopian people. Liar. A Hamite people from Egypt. Hamite. Both Abyssinia and Ham is two different, in Egypt is two different branches of Ham, not Japheth, you lying dummy. He proves this by putting together a vast array of Abkhazian words that match that of ancient Egypt. He also chronicled family names, names of rivers and mountains, animals and pre-Christian deities, and much more. And in his histories, Poe, page 50, Herodotus suggests that the Colchians was conquered by the Egyptian pharaoh named Sesostris, not a fucking Japhethite Greek named Alexander the Great or fucking Philip of Macedon or the fucking Ptolemies, you fucking stupid dummy. Homer suggests that the Colchis were conquered by the Egyptian pharaoh named Sesostris. Okay, either Sesostris I or Sesostris III of the 17th dynasty, who lived in the 19th century BC, brother. Way back then, it was all black Hamites in that land, you stupid fucking dummy. And that the people of the cultures were the descendants of the Egyptians who stayed there at that time. But modern history has no knowledge of such an expedition by an Egyptian pharaoh. That's because they haven't read the cartouches in Spain that said Sosostris and Shoshank and a couple other pharaohs had been there, all written in Egyptian hieroglyphics, dummy. Though black communities are known to have existed in the area as Hamites, you fucking stupid dummy Yashub. The Medes, grandson of Noah through Japheth, and is considered forefather of the Medians. According to a secular source, the Berosus of Babylon fragments, a Median royal line of rule was well established by the time of Alexander the Great. Regardless, it is historically generally agreed, Herodotus' History, I.16 et seq. Says Bill Cooper, that the Median Empire was founded by Dosis. Okay. Media was the westward lay of land south of the Caspian Sea. That enjoys biblical prominence over a dozen references in scriptures because of its association to Israelite history. It embraces territory today represented by Azerbaijan and southern shores of the Caspian Sea. The Persian Iraqi province of Iraq, Ijomi, and districts of Iran, which adjoin the mountainous provinces of Kurdistan and Luristan. The Medes enjoy cohomogeny with Persia. The Medo-Persian Empire ruled over Israel for more than 200 years, from the overthrow of Babylon in 539 BC until the Medo-Persians were themselves defeated at the hand of Alexander the Great. The ancient Median imperial capital, Ekbakistan, is situated in modern-day Hadamah, on a line joining Baghdad and Tehran in southern Iran. The Assyrians, Medea's descendants, Medians, are known as Amada, Medea to the Greeks, and Mada in Old Persian inscriptions. The earliest surviving secular reference to the Medes from circa 858 to 824 BC appears inscriptions of the Assyrian Shalmaneser III, who invaded the land of the Medes to plunder them of their fine horses. Both Strabo and Herodotus confirms the Medes were of Indo-European Japhetic origin. And linguists consider Medea an Indo-European language. After 631 BEC, the Medes joined with the people of Oxuzanim, and those of Gomer, the Cimmerians, in an attempt to throw off the Assyrian yoke. Long time ago, these people mixed with other white folks. They was white folks. They were Indo-Europeans according to this text right here, brother. The fuck is you talking about? They were Indo-European, dog. The Medes were of Indo-European Japhetic origin. It's fucking sickening. Okay, let's go here. We got the white Europeans, okay? This here is published by the ncbi.nlm.nih.gov, okay? It says white European, Western Caucasian, or what? Inappropriate labeling in research on race, ethnicity, and health. The request for scientifically appropriate terminology in research on race, ethnicity, and health has largely bypassed the term white. This and other words such as Caucasian are embedded in clinical and epidemiological discourse, yet they are rarely defined. This commentary analyzes the issue from the perspective of the epidemiology of the health of minority ethnic and racial groups in Europe and in the United States. Minority groups are usually compared with the population described as white, Caucasian, European, Western, Occidental, Indigenous, Native, and majority. Such populations are heterogeneous. The labels nonspecific and the comparisons misleading. Terminology that reflects the research purpose, for examples, reference, control, and comparison is better, unlike white. These terms imply no norm, allowing neither writer nor reader to make stereotyped assumptions about the comparison of populations like Yeshub is doing. The paper widens the debate on nomenclature for racial and ethnic groups. Many issues need exploration, including whether there is a shared understanding amongst the international research community of these terms. I'm going to make this my final source from Britannica. Caucasian peoples, various ethnic groups living in the Caucasus, a geographically complex area of the mountain ranges, plateaus, foothills, plains, rivers, and lakes, with grassland, forests, marshes, and dry steppes. The complex of regions harbor more than 50 separate people, ranging from language communities with only a few hundred speakers to large national groups numbering millions. This diversity is not of recent date. Pliny the Elder related that the Romans carried on their business there through 80 interpreters. Arab geographers called the Caucasus Jabal al-Alsan, mountain of languages. The languages of the Caucasus belong to four families: Caucasian or Paleo-Caucasian, Indo-European, Turkic, and Semitic, whereas speakers of the later three groups are known to have migrated to the Caucasus in historical times. Speakers of the Caucasian languages occupied the area at the dawn of history. Caucasian people are subdivided, like the Caucasian languages, into northern branches and southern branches. The southerners comprising of Georgians and the closely related Mingrelians and Laz, and the Savans make up the Republic of Georgia. All of these people are white people, bro. Caucasus. These white people, bro. What are you talking about? So all white people. All white people. All white people. Everywhere in the Caucasus. White people. These are all white people. None of these people are black.